Hi, and welcome to Star Lighthouse. I'm Prashant, and this is your weekly reading for Sun, Moon, Venus rising in Sagittarius. This is a general read, so I suggest you take whatever resonates with you and leave everything else behind. And if this reading does connect with you, there is an extended to it. The link for that extension is below in the description box. I hope you like the reading, and if you do, please do like, subscribe, and share. That would be very helpful. Thank you for that. So Sagittarius, how are you doing? Happy Thanksgiving. How are you feeling? Hope you get some time to connect with family and friends. Hope you're able to take this moment to find some gratitude, especially during this tough year. You're able to find some gratitude and able to share that with your family and friends. That would just raise the spirit up. Not just for yourself, like even for people around. So hope you're able to connect with them virtually, otherwise find a safe way to do that. Alright, Sagittarius. Let's focus on the thought and the feeling that brought you this reading. Anxiety, the question that's burning in your mind. Let's focus on that. Take a deep breath and release everything else from your mind. Just focus on that. Maybe this reading has an answer for you. Let's see what's going on for you this week. Two of Wands being blocked by Temperance. Two of Wands is finding an opportunity to start expressing yourself, like got a relationship that will find that opportunity. More towards like you have an Ace of Spark, which is your creative task, and now you find an opportunity to map it. So Temperance is like balancing it, balancing your emotion. Past is Eight of Swords, so releasing old blindfolds. Somebody may be telling you you're not good enough. That's what you're releasing. Balancing, that's where an emotional balance is required to find that opportunity. Even if that opportunity is floating in front of you in this moment, you might not be able to view it because you might not be in the right emotional state to fully go out and express yourself in that particular opportunity. What I mean by that is, if previously you just let go of these old beliefs, fears, or blindfolds of someone else telling you you're not good enough, so you might be in that transition process. You might be in that transition phase where you're learning where you're good at, where you're not good at, like your true assessment of your own self. So that true assessment is that balancing phase, that temperance that you're going through. So that temperance, that balancing, the true assessment of self, that's what's being blocked. That's what's blocking your next opportunity to go out and succeed. Mind's ambition, going past the previous tower. So that the previous situation has ended. And heart's desire, stability, Ten of Wands. So shooting for the stars, I think that's great. Because somebody told you in the past that you're not good enough, and then you move and your heart now thinks about that you can shoot for the stars, like you can find this abundant garden. You start believing in your power. So that's where the Tower card is. You're going through that transformation. And that's where the Temperance relies. Understanding your true value. Truly assessing your own self, not letting anyone else do that for you. They're not good enough to tell you what you can or cannot do. Nobody else is. It's only you who cannot tell what you want, should or should not do. Future situation, Ten of Swords. So there is a painful conclusion, and that also requires balancing of emotions. So it could also have been that realization that you might have been stuck in someone else's boundary around, like this illusionary boundary, and how might have that happen would have been like something like assignment, opportunity, work, how that looks like given to you. The expectations of it kept changing without prior notice for you. That changing expectation, they were being supported as if they're the right thing, and you not being able to keep up became a negatory mark against you, kind of putting you time and again into these boundaries that kept closing in on you and asking you to put in more and more effort, making you feel like you don't deserve enough, or you're not putting enough effort, that you're not acting to your best. That is the tower your mind is currently going through. Tower in space of mind is like a psychological realization of how you might have had unconsciously allowed that situation to happen, like being created around you. What I mean by that is, for someone to be able to create this illusionary boundary, this fear-based scenario around you, you have to give in to their opinions. And now it's, if say this person is in whatever way, if they control your financial security, if they're your supervisor, boss, manager, however it is, and that's how they were controlling that fear, and they were exploiting it and making you work more than you were supposed to, or making you feel less of yourself. Removing that and going through that transformation, you might realize that there might be a psychological trauma, or you might realize there were like unconscious habits inside you that allowed the other person to exploit your fear, especially if this is fear of financial survivability. You unconsciously allowed that other person to do that to you, and that's where the painful conclusion is. And you're processing those feelings, even if we think that we don't have that much of emotional attachment to our peers, or especially our supervisors or people that are higher above in the hierarchy. That might be true, but in a way their assessment unconsciously on a circular basis does impact us, on a cyclical basis does impact us. And unraveling that unrealistic expectations of them, of your effort, and unrealistic assessment that comes out of it, time and again, that would have put a dent into your personal ego, creating this feeling, embedding this feeling inside you that you are not good enough, you're not putting enough effort. Unraveling those blindfolds. So ending a situation is easy. Realizing that you are in a negative situation and ending that conflict is easy. But processing the trauma behind it, which might not seem like a trauma when you leave the situation, but when you allow those emotions to get through you, like when you keep getting shocked, your mind tends to block out the emotion so that you can consciously still be alive in that moment. You don't feel this amped up fear in your mind. So that shock impact now is getting released. That's what the tower movement is suggesting, the transformation that your mind is going through, the psychological transformation that your mind is going through. And that's what needs to be balanced. You have to understand the past is done. There is no going back. Process the trauma, the failure feelings from it. Process the guilt of not being able to stand up for self, and then move on. Don't let those feelings fester, or don't delve in them for too long. Suggested advice or action, the world. Context for this advice or action, King of Swords. So King of Swords generally is like you understanding a lot from this incident. Basically, King of Swords represents a person who is very intellectual authority, who is like who understands legal, whatever information has come to them till this moment, they become like this astute processor of it. In this scenario, it points towards you being able to understand what all happened in the past, you being able to remove those ego dents inside you, and you being able to remove those unconscious habits created inside you to that have had led to this blindfold, this illusionary barrier being set around you. Giving into fears like fear of financial survivability, unnecessary fear that has created that situation. That's where the World card came out, because your heart is also desiring financial stability. The World card came out pointing towards that once you get out of this situation, once you process this transformation, you let that happen to you. You process the emotions of it, you analyze everything, you understand everything. You are blessed with the world on the other side. Meaning you will find the right opportunities, because that right opportunities will come from like this increased self-confidence. Being able to stand up for self, being able to be there for self when you are transforming, and then finding this other side. You would have increased confidence. Hopes and fears, Kings of Coins. Hoping for abundant opportunity, abundant money. So this could be like very significantly the situation could have impacted your financial stability, or might have created that fear, or you might have realized that somebody else was exploiting that fear and there was no need to fear it. There was so much inside you that you might have been unaware of in terms of potential and skill, and the other person was, and they were exploiting that. And King of Coins, the other thing it points out towards is like either you are going to make a hierarchy jump, because once you stop giving into that previous situation, you'll find a new opportunity that would actually allow you to give a hierarchy jump. It's like a large scale situation, like large scale industry, large scale enterprise, and once you find a transition, once you go through this transformation, you find yourself on the other side. You might find even an opportunity that gives you a very, like it's like a snakes and ladders, and it gives a shoot up to the top. Because now you understand, you're aware of who you are, you understand you can create this garden with very ease. Your heart is desiring it, the world is providing it, so you would make a hierarchy jump too. Two kings after your transformation, King of Swords and King of Coins. Potential outcome, Queen of Coins. Queen of Coins is another like very abundant energy where you can use your innovative, creative self to create self-abundance. You don't even need to go out and seek opportunities. So what this is heading towards is you becoming completely self-aware. King of Swords, a very intellectual person, someone who is authority on self, who is not scared of any sudden impact like legal, like any sudden risk. They're not impacted by that. They're sound leaders, they're good authorities, and they are able to assimilate, digest whatever information comes to them, and then they can come up with sound decisions. Taking that and moving towards King of Coins, you are heading towards like you're hoping for a huge windfall, and seemingly you are heading towards it. Once you complete a transformation, once you go through and process these emotions, large scale abundance, even like a heavy upgrade in your current hierarchy is coming your way. Now, what do we need to do during this transformation? is finding the reasons these blindfolds got created around us. Why previously couldn't we directly and go out and ask for this like senior opportunity, whatever it looks like? Why couldn't we ask for this leadership role for us previously? Why did we have to go through this understanding that someone else was exploiting us, someone else was creating this illusionary boundary? That needs to be understood. During this transformation, you have to unearth your own unconscious behaviors where you give in to someone who is authoritative. That needs to be removed if you are to move to a leadership position. You have to stop giving in too much information or letting your emotion get shocked by authoritative people if you want to go to a leadership position. So that needs to be understood. The steps to that is first understanding the painful conclusion of the past, processing those emotions by acknowledging you felt bad. Like sometimes we feel like when we have shoved off a fight, when we have let go of a bad situation, that we tend to think that, okay, let's not cry about the past and let's move on. That in a way pushes all those feelings, like unprocessed shocked feelings of the past, under the rug, and then those feelings just fester over there and they would come out at inopportune moment. That's something that you don't want if you want to be in a leadership position. So a transformation in your own self and how you handle yourself needs to be found. You are shooting for the stars, which is great, and you should. But in this moment, you need to find a balance. You need to find a temperance inside yourself. So Sagittarius, the message from generating is feeling to be very clear. You are moving towards a leadership role. This might be actually a significant jump from a previous situation. If this role coming towards you is being blocked right now, it is being blocked because you are being given time to find a balance within yourself. You might have thought that previously you were balanced, but you are realizing on a daily basis how to be more temperate, how to stay emotionally stable. Emotions might have been impacted by a previous shock of either losing a job or realization that you were inside someone else's illusionary game, illusionary barrier. Now you are going past that situation, you're transforming. In this transformation, you have to realize what unconscious gifts you have to authoritative people. Those unconscious gifts have to be removed or understood how to control them, how to control emotional shock when you meet someone who is like more senior to you. The whole scenario of becoming or getting to a leadership situation is that when we are at a younger post or when we are at a young junior role, we have a tendency of trying to over impress someone who is senior. And if you're going through a heavy jump in the hierarchy, then you have to lose that inner desire of yours to try to impress the other person, because that in a way gives the other person more information than you wanted. And that's where the King of Swords comes in. King of Swords, for you have to become the digester of information rather than someone who gives out information for free. Information is very valuable. So become the digester of information rather than giving it out for free. Once you go through this transformation, you are moving definitely towards that. This is a big jump for you. that's going to happen, because everything on this side is about abundance. World card, King of Swords, King of Coins, Queen of Coins. About this side, everything on this side, it's about you transforming. So once your transformation is done, there's abundance. Be patient during your transformation and handle it like a good solid process. You are moving towards a leadership role. Sagittarius, I hope this reading connected with you. If it did, there is an extended for it. In the extended, I would look at further how to go through this transformation, how to balance your mind and heart, how to psychologically process all that information, wisdom from the oracle about when the future seems to set in, how this transformation looks like, and timing about when that opportunity would come your way. All of that I would look in the extended. If you would like to join me there, the link for that is below in the description box. I hope you liked the reading, and if you did, please do like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for joining me, and have an amazing Thanksgiving. Bye.